Good evening. It's nice to have with us here on Prime Time News. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
A very good evening to you, and I'm Shamir Rasuluddin. Let's now take a look at the top stories right here on News First, where the news always comes first. The President states that no room will be allowed for anyone to divide the country again in order to fulfill their narrow-minded objectives. The opposition leader charges that the government should take responsibility for the election violence in Kadwela. 106 persons taken into custody for violating election laws. Harshan Tilakaratne states that the revelations made by him on the cricket crisis have been endorsed by the Minister of Sports.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that no room will be allowed for anyone to divide the country again in order to fulfill their narrow-minded objectives. The President made this statement at a public rally held in the Nawal College grounds in Kopai, Jaffna.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa was warmly welcomed on his arrival at the Nawal Hindu College in Kopai this morning. The President first visited the Kovil located at the school premises and subsequently declared open a two-story building along with Chief Minister of the Uva Province, Shashindra Rajapaksa. The Uva Provincial Council took the initiative to construct this building, and the soldiers attached to the 511 Brigade managed to finish construction work within 8 months. This school, which has a history of 125 years, was founded by a well-known Tamil leader in the country's freedom struggle, Arumuga Navalar. The meeting that was held subsequently was attended by Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne and other ministers. I don't have to specially state that the people of this country lived for 30 years with the sound of bullets and with an uncertainty about their children's future. We have a responsibility to restore rights in the areas which had lost these for the past 30 years. I am ready to listen to what everybody has to say. I would like to emphasize that room will not be provided for anyone to divide the country through narrow thinking and for their narrow objectives. Let us work together. Let us live together in our country. This is our country, the country where we were born, where we live, and where we will be buried.
Taking a look at our developing story for tonight. Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe states that very soon the people of Kadwela will have to pay twice the amount they currently pay as rates. The opposition leader made this statement while addressing a meeting in the Pore area in Athrugiriya yesterday.
Since this is a municipal council now, all of you will have to pay twice the amount paid as rates when it was a Pradesh Sabha. Because of this, the income from this proposed municipal council will increase 3 times from 500 million to 1.5 billion. Nothing was done with 500 million. Will they do anything with 1.5 billion? Will roads be constructed? Let us do some work for the municipal council with this 500 million. They say this as an opportunity to earn 1 billion every year. They are now salivating greedily. Now all of them will separate into teams and will start fighting. One will hit the other. Why? Because they think the person who wins can pocket 1 billion.
General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, parliamentarian Maithripala Sirisena, has said that the reason for his party candidates to clash with each other for preferential votes is because there is no challenge from the opposition. The minister said this at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
In Kadwela, there is a clash for preferential votes between 2 of our candidates. A fight for preferential votes has arisen as the opposition is not strong enough. According to our political experience, if the opposition is strong, candidates will always face the opposition. Under this electoral system, if the opposition is not strong enough, clashes take place among candidates of the same party. Minister Dalasala Perima also spoke at the briefing.
ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකාව බැලට් එක කෙරෙහි තිබුණු විශ්වාසය
The event took place on the 23rd of July in 1983 was the incident that forced the people in the north to select the bullet instead of the ballot. We are not ready to point the finger at the LTE leader alone for the loss of 30 years. We would like to make a proposal to the United National Party, which created this Black July in 83, that on this historic 23rd of July, they have an opportunity to seek forgiveness. On that day, all leaders of the party should dress in white and go to the Nallur Kovil or to the Jaffna Library and seek forgiveness 28 times.
28 වරක් කෑ ගහලා යාඥා කරලා මේක සමාව ගන්න.
The Election Secretariat has decided to issue a certificate to representatives of political parties who inspect counting centres that have been set up for the upcoming local government poll. Additional Elections Commissioner W.P. Sumanasiri stated that accordingly, the time at which party representatives leave the counting centres will be mentioned in the certificate that will be issued.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education states that schools located in all areas where the local government elections will be conducted will be closed on Friday the 22nd. The Excise Department has issued a notice that all liquor outlets in areas where the elections will be conducted should be closed on the 23rd. Meanwhile, the police stated that 106 persons have been taken into custody for violating election laws. Senior DIG in charge of election activities, Gamini Navaratna, stated that 76 complaints have been lodged regarding the violation of election laws. These visuals were captured by our cameras in the Monaragal and Simbalandu areas today. Police officers in the Monaragal and Simbalandu areas were seen working tirelessly to remove banners and cutouts erected by government and opposition representatives as part of their propaganda activities.
There are 4 days more for the second phase of the 2011 local government elections. Today, we focus our attention on the central, Sabaragamuwa and Uva provinces.
The local government election will be conducted in the Kandy, Mathale and Norele districts in the central province. The election will be held for 3 Pradesh Sabhas in the Kandy district to elect 55 members, and there are 175,707 eligible voters. No acts of violence have been reported during this time period. Therefore, we can clearly say that we will be able to conduct the election in a peaceful environment. In the Norele district, the local government election will be held for the Thalavakale Lindula Pradesh Sabha. 9 members will be elected for the Pradesh Sabha, and there are 4,187 eligible voters. Meanwhile, in the Mathale district, there are 69,364 eligible voters, and 23 members will be elected to the local government bodies.
All the initial work that is required to conduct the election on the 23rd is being completed at present. Steps have been taken to conduct the election with the assistance of police and to maintain peace and to ensure the voters' rights.
In the Monragal district in the Uva province, elections will be held for 2 Pradesh Sabhas. 71,197 eligible voters will exercise their vote to elect 20 members to these bodies. In the Sabaragamuwa province, the election will be held in the Ratnapura and Kegol districts. 57 representatives will be elected from the Ratnapura district for 1 urban council and 3 Pradesh Sabhas. There are 163,358 eligible voters in the Ratnapura district. Meanwhile, elections will be held for 1 urban council and 2 Pradesh Sabhas in the Kegol district to elect 48 members, and there are 145,472 eligible voters in the district.
Leader of the House, Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva, protested when Democratic National Alliance parliamentarian Anura Kumar Dissanayake requested permission from the Speaker to raise a question in accordance with standing orders. A debate arose subsequently.
The basis of this problem is the hedging agreement. This question itself states that there are 3 court cases that are being heard regarding this. In such a backdrop, our standing orders do not allow discussing an issue that is before court.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි අපේ රටේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ස්ථාවර නියෝග සකස් කොට තිබෙන්නේ.
Honourable Speaker, the standing orders of our country are formulated in such a way that it takes into account whether court cases are being heard in a Sri Lankan court. There are no cases on this issue in any court of this country.
ඇතුළත කිසිදු අධිකරණයක නඩුවක් පවරා නැහැ.
මේ රටේ මුදල් කටයුතු ගැන කතා කිරීමේ
This House has all the authority to discuss about the country's finances. There is no space for taking away this right. The main problem at hand is as to why action was not taken according to a Supreme Court decision. Why was it violated? After violating a Supreme Court decision in Sri Lanka, how can you ask someone to obey another law?
ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයේ තීන්දුව උල්ලංඝනය කරාන් පස්සේ කොහොමද කියන්නේ වෙනත් නීතියකට යටත් වෙන්න කියලා.
කිසිදු උසාවියක ලංකාවේ හෝ පිටරටක හෝ
We cannot accept certain clauses in standing orders being used to make this statement when there are no cases filed in this country or overseas. Therefore, Honourable Speaker, we look forward for an order from you.
ඔබතුමාගේ නියෝගයක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
කොයි රටේ නඩු
No matter which country the court ruling is from, they have to come to a court in Sri Lanka to obtain an enforcement to implement it.
නැවත එන්නට ඕන. අපිට ඕනෑක් කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්.
We can talk about various things. In other countries, matters are discussed when cases are being heard. We spoke about Rizana when her case was being heard. I will give an order in this regard on Thursday after taking matters into consideration. We will discuss this then.
Provisions of the Debt Cancellation Ordinance presented by the Minister of Justice were debated in Parliament today.
It is purely to provide the chairman and the other members of the Debt Cancellation Ordinance to enable them to have their payments increased as it has been last revised in 2005 and 5 years have lapsed since the final revision.
It is nothing but timely that we are talking of debt conciliation when the entire country is in a debt trap at the moment, nationally created and internationally administered. So on that particular basis, my first point, Honourable Minister, is that why have you at this particular moment not looked at the debt trap the country is in before you look at anything?